Hello everyone and welcome to the video. Hope you're all having a great day so far. Today we're doing another champion build inside Raid Shadow Legends for a free champion that everybody should have got. Just before we get started though, I want to talk and get some opinions on the new Hydra system with these chests here. So as of the latest update that just came out, we do actually now have essentially just personal contribution or personal points chests that you can actually earn. So it goes all the way up to 1.2 billion. These do carry over between Hydra clashes as well. So if you only earn 200 million per clash, you can basically just cycle that for 6 clashes and you'll get yourself to the top chest anyways. And they contain a decent amount of gear. So you get a couple of pieces of gear. So you get 2 pieces, you get 3 pieces, you get 3 pieces, and you get 4 pieces from this, and you can get some mythical gear in here, of course, of the decent sets, so your protection and your stone skin accessories and all that sort of good stuff. I am a huge fan of this. I am very, very happy with the implementation of this. It gives motivation to players to strive for high scores, even if you don't think that you're going to fall within the top 3, because obviously the top 3 are the ones that get these big, juicy chests. So previously, if you know your team is in last place and the people in first place are abusing like the Trunda teams or something like that, you didn't really have a motivation to go forward and push yourself and get more points, right? So for example, if you've seen a team like this putting up 4.5 billion on his own, I'm a huge fan of this. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, of course. I'm very, very happy with this. I would like to see maybe a little bit more content surrounding Demon Lord Clan Boss as well. So maybe some contributions like that to really strive for, you know, record numbers. So for example, if they had certain thresholds for your key that you had to try and reach or those sorts of things, just because at this point, Demon Lord definitely is one of the staler pieces of content in the game. They haven't really done too much to shake it up. Or maybe even if they put accessories in there or something like that, that would be cool. But enough rambling. We are talking about a very interesting champion that everybody got for free. He was released alongside the Call of the Arbiter series, and that is Artak, which is going to be Gaelic's father, if you're unfamiliar, and he actually has no arm in the animated series, but he has an arm in-game for some reason. I'm not sure what happened there. But we are going to be talking about him, and I'm going to be showcasing what he can do inside the game. What is his kit? He has an A1, which attacks all enemies, has a 45% chance to extend the duration of any HP burn debuffs on each target by 1 turn, which is pretty nice. You'll notice all of his damage is based on HP as well, so the more he can survive, the more damage he's going to do, which is fantastic. Attacks all enemies. Before attacking, instantly activates any HP burn debuffs on each enemy. Has a 100% chance of placing a decreased attack debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. One thing to keep in mind is for some reason his AI will generally prioritize the Dogs of War over his A3, which actually places the HP burns. So if you're doing an AI setup, you probably want to have the A3 prioritized first, otherwise he's just wasting the instant activation essentially. Purifier, A3 attacks all enemies 2 times the first hit, 100% chance of placing a burn for 2 turns. Restores this champion's destroyed max HP by 10% for each HP burn debuff placed by this skill. Heals him by 5% for each HP burn debuff attempt blocked or resisted by the enemy team. And you'll see why that destroyed max HP is so important once we get to his passive. Whenever an HP burn debuff is activated, destroys this max HP by 5% up to 50%, increases his crit damage, his damage, crit damage, and defense by 1% for each 1% of their destroyed max HP. Also increases this champion's speed and resistance by 2 for each 1% of their destroyed max HP. So keep in mind, he is an HP-based damage dealer, and when his maximum HP gets decreased, he's actually going to do less damage. So it's kind of like a little bit of a paradox there, where you want him to have more HP, since he's going to do more damage. But the more damage he does, the less HP he's going to have, essentially. So it's a bit weird. Basically, this champion is generally, in my opinion, best built with some sort of accuracy and speed in mind. As always, I'll go ahead and throw my infographic up on screen there so you guys can see the priority stats, what sort of blessings you're going to be using, all that sort of good stuff. In terms of the blessing on my particular account, I do have him 2-star awakened, so I have him built out into an emergency heal blessing. If you can get him even more awakened than this, so specifically like a 5 or a 6-star awakened would be fantastic. Emergency heal is going to be combined with what we have over here in the artifacts, a blood shield ring. Essentially, since he's doing an AoE, this blood shield ring is going to give him 5% worth of shield for any sort of damage dealt after he attacks. That shield, if it gets popped by an enemy hit, it's going to go ahead and heal him for a certain percentage when it's combined with the emergency heal. So emergency heal also does work off accessory placed shields. It doesn't have to be like a skill or anything like that. Useful information if you didn't know it. For masteries, this is what we have. I come down to Unshakable on the tier 6. Now, his resistance is a little bit low for the strats and the areas that I'm going to show you for his use, essentially, so I would recommend having a little bit more resistance on him. He is very competent at soloing the Ice Golem, and I don't have any sort of area bonuses inside the Ice Golem quite yet, so even with Unshakable, he only has 230 resistance, which makes it basically like a 50-50, maybe a little bit less, maybe like a 40-60 that I actually resist anything, which can be a little bit problematic when you get to the third wave and you're fighting a boss and the minions are placing the heal reduction, because obviously this guy is built out in regen as well as immortal, so he's doing a lot of self-healing. He has the emergency heal, so if he's not healing, it does get a little bit shaky whether or not this guy's going to make it through. What we have, though, is 101,000 HP. We have 2,200 on the defense. You probably want that a little bit higher as well, maybe closer to 3,200. 249 on the speed, 230 on the resistance, and 287 on the accuracy. So the accuracy is not an issue. He's not having problems placing debuffs or anything like that. He does that perfectly fine. For gear, I have an HP amulet on him with some accuracy, resistance, and defense on there. We have an accuracy banner, which you could probably easily change out to a resistance banner. I don't know if I really have one for this particular faction, though. At least not one that would have decent substats. This is a decent banner, actually gives him a bit more HP, a bit more defense as well. And then I could definitely glyph it out a little bit more too. So let's actually go ahead, try this on. That'll take us down to 191 accuracy though, which would be a little bit questionable. We do have a resistance banner coming in from the reaction set here. Nothing too good for substats on it though. I don't have a whole lot of banners, as you can see, from this particular faction, especially resistance banners. Resistance banners on my account at least seem to be quite hard to get. I'm not sure why that is. For the ring, we have a defense ring with some HP, attack, and a little bit of defense on there as well. You can definitely get some better stats on this gear. As you can see here, we have a wasted roll on crit damage when we're not even crit capping him or anything like that. We have an HP roll here, wasted attack. If that was defense, it would be significantly better. Basically, what I'm getting at is if I can do this particular run that I'm about to show you, which I'll actually pop up on screen here now while I'm showing off the gear. This is going to be him soloing stage 1 on my account of Ice Golem Hard. He has 4 food champions in there with him, which is going to help him get some XP for your team as well. So if you're trying to get through a fusion or something like that, and you can be farming XP for your champions at the same time, it's going to be fantastic, a lot more efficient. We have some HP gauntlets here, of course. We have a crit rate roll on there, which is a bit of a shame. We have an HP chest with an HP ascension as well, which helps out. Triple speed roll is quite nice. And then we have some speed boots with some HP percentage on there as well. Ideally, you'd probably want HP boots with speed ascension and then some speed on the substats too to get yourself ridiculously high speed amounts, HP amounts. Realistically, though, this level of HP is perfectly fine. Just build him with a bit more defense and you're going to do a-okay. So while this is running in the background, I'll talk about some of the use cases for him. I, as a late game player, do actually use him consistently inside the Orcs. I don't think I can show you there, but essentially this is my Orcs Faction Wars team. So I do have Artak, I have my Seer, Duke, Vrask, and Kreela. So this is a very competent team. I'm able to push through stage 21 every single day on full auto with this particular team. It does take a little while. It's like a 3-minute run or something like that, but it's nothing too crazy. I do have a +3 Seer in there, which certainly helps out for sure. Besides Faction Wars, you can get a lot of use out of them inside the Hydra. Having an AoE burn that you can place, combined with a burn detonation, combined with burn extension, combined with decrease attack, makes this guy very, very suitable for a role such as this. So even if you're just running him on the lower tiers of Hydra and just getting those burns and the detonations, he's going to help you out a lot. He can definitely be very good for Brutal and Nightmare, though, with his decreased attack that he can consistently keep up on your team. He is, of course, an AoE-only champion as well. All of his skills are hitting, so you can build him out inside the Cursed set and get some Hex placed on the enemies as well because of that, which will help to boost up your team's damage. Apart from those two places, I do also get some use out of him inside the Cursed City. So Cursed City is going to have a lot of secret rooms that he can actually benefit from, or a lot of secret rooms that he can actually help you out with. There's not really any coming to mind currently. I do know he actually makes it into some rotations of Amius himself as well, so you might be able to find some use running him against Amius with the burns and everything like that. And then of course once you get over here into the harder areas, so Soul Cross, he's definitely going to be able to help out with this as well. There's some stages where he can be a bit useful. I think there might be perhaps 1 or 2 stages of the actual Iron Twins where he can be used as well, so getting those decreased attacks in there is quite nice. Of course, if we're talking about classic Iron Twins, you can definitely use him in here as well. I don't. I have my other team built, which I made a video on, so I don't get use out of him in this particular area. But again, the burns, the decreased attacks, the burn extensions, all of it is just so useful. And when you combine his kit together in areas like this, you can get so much use out of him. Really good for something like Dragon as well. And he's one of the few champions that you could actually probably get away using in Fire Knight. Generally, you don't want to bring Burns or anything like that for Fire Knight because he's not really taking turns, and you don't want to stack up that debuff bar, especially for Fire Knight hard. But if you bring in Artak, Artak's going to be able to detonate those burns, which is very, very cool. Since he's a free champion and everybody has him, you might be able to get a High Awakening for him as well. If you can get a 5 or a 6 star, I'd recommend throwing him into your Sand Devils team and throw him in with a Brimstone Blessing so that you can just get the burn up. You can get Brimstone proccing as well. It's a protected at 5 or 6 star, which is quite nice. And of course, you run him with something like Godseeker and Eerie or a team like that, and you'll be off to the races. Let me know down below, though, where you guys are using Artak if you're using him on your account. Thank you guys all so much for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.